Stomach smells really bad.
Did you just check your own armpit?
It smells bad in here. It's not me.
So that implies it's me.
I don't know what it is. I didn't say it was you.
My nose is stuffed, so I don't think it's me. Out of the two of us who showered today. Hey, listener, my hand's up. Can you guess whose isn't?
Yeah, but you're sweaty even now, just sitting there.
Because we're on the top floor of an unair-conditioned house in a closet with what appears to be a thunderstorm rolling in.
I showered yesterday.
Sorry, is that an admission or are you proud?
It's a big day because I didn't have to leave the house. So the fact that I showered, even though I didn't have to leave the house, is good.
I wonder where our child gets that from.
I will not leave the house. Oh, the older one?
No,
so the younger one. No, younger one goes outside, not showering
That's the point.
regularly. I won't leave the house
to
see people.
Sure about that?
Pretty sure.
Should have one of those like signs, like a safety sign at a day since I left the house without showering, and we'll just keep it going until boom, the streak's done.
You did a lazy job with this, and you look like you're like crouched in a corner with the sheets. What happened to the top shelf of things? You got rid of a lot of stuff. Why'd you get rid of a lot of stuff?
I got rid of a lot of clothes that I don't use.
What's that garbage bag right there?
It's your stuff.
What? Maybe the kids' stuff. I don't have a garbage bag of stuff. And I certainly would not put it there.
Well, you did.
I did not put garbage up there.
I guarantee it's some bag it's a donatable bag, but we're not going to throw it out for 3 years until someone finally takes a crack at looking at it. It'll eventually make its way down to the garage and just be thrown at the base of the steps of the garage when you enter, and I'll have to figure out a thing to do with it.
Yep.
And in that time, I'll be lectured repeatedly about the mess I create in the garage.
I don't lecture you for the mess in the garage.
When your car's not in there, you do.
So Lord Stewart.
Yes, my lady.
No one's gonna get Lord of what are you now? So Andrew is an ordained priest of Dudism first.
In the Church of the Latter-day Dude, thank you very much.
Yep. And now you're a lord of
Dannon Castle in Scotland.
Danning?
Dannon.
Dannon, like Dannon, like the yogurt
No.
Dannon?
No.
Oh.
But yeah, just less ends.
Dannon
Castle.
Is it spelled the same as Dannon yogurt?
No, that's why I said less ends.
What do you mean less ends? There's only 2 ends.
No, it's 3 ends. Dannon is the Dannon.
No, it's not. It's
yeah, it is.
Danon. I'm going to look it up right now and show you.
Oh, man. Let's do it. I'll look up the castle. This is fascinating audio entertainment right here.
Oh, there's 2 ends in Dannon yogurt. What?
I'm sorry. What? Who is correct in this matter?
You are. That's
Thank
weird.
You.
I clearly don't eat yogurt.
That's it, eh?
Well, that's exactly it.
I love, though, the confidence up until you're wrong. What? But it did. And then it's like, oh, I don't eat yogurt. How would I know that?
Why would you have 2 ends in it?
So it is Dunnan Castle. My apologies. Dunans. But I am officially the holder of a decorative title of Lord of Dunnan Castle.
It's exciting.
It is. Care to say your part in this little scheme? Because it's not just me.
But I didn't do the scheme.
But don't make this seem like it wasn't funny, because we both get it's funny.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
I am lady of said castle.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is amazing. I can't believe Maya didn't think I would actually love that.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious. And I'm not for titles like doctor, whatever. I don't care about that.
What's that, Dr. Professor Captain Pazenko?
Lady. But lady, cool.
Yeah. Lord Andrew Stewart.
Caroline.
I'm going to come up with
Lady
like
Caroline.
a Game of Thrones level title. When
And that
this
is
becomes
very regal. Lady Caroline.
Mm-hmm. Lord Andrew. Yeah. Lord Andrew Stewart of a Scottish castle.
Yeah. I suppose.
Like, come on now. Oh, it's so great.
Captain's still pretty cool though.
Captain's good.
But lady is amazing.
Lady's pretty good. Yeah,
now,
it's gonna be
and
awesome.
I need to get like ballroom gown or something.
I don't know if that's necessary. I mean, go for it if you want to do costumes, but
now we got to get those king and queen chairs that we saw at that store.
Oh yeah.
They're probably long gone.
Yeah, I don't think that store has them. They would have held it for 10 years if that's the case.
Now we have a need for them. Anyway.
All right. A lot of people don't know what's happening right now.
No.
A lot of people are going to be listening to this going, are they drunk? When did they record this?
Hopefully you've heard podcasts before.
Yeah, this is your first exposure to us. Sorry. Okay, today's episode, today's question. I don't know if it's a distinct question, but it came out of our conversation on our walk today. Where, as parents, which you and I are.
Barely.
No, top 5 in the world, I'd say. Because does anybody else have a podcast?
I'm sure there's lots of parents with, yes, there's tons of parenting podcasts out there.
But what are they? The happy child, the aware parent. No, parents of the year. All right. We call it like we see it here on this podcast.
Yes,
parents of the year.
We're like, how have we not won parents of the year when we've lost our child in Chicago airport?
And considering we just started it off with a 5-minute discussion around how we're super excited that we've got decorative titles in Scotland. Anywho, as parents to 2 lovely children, it is becoming apparent. You made a really interesting comment today around what we allow the older one to do and the potential need to manage it in the younger sphere with the younger child. Specifically, I mean, I'll just say what it was. We were talking about tattoos. Mm-hmm. Caroline and I are both sinners with tattoos. Myself, I have multiple. My beautiful wife is barely blemished with hers. But our eldest child, which surprised me because she hates needles, but she's really, and she has talked about it for quite some time now. Like it's probably coming up in a year. She's been talking about this. She wants a tattoo. She had a friend who is now 16, got a tattoo with her parents' consent. 17 now, sorry. Has consent from her parents, got it. So now the topic has come to the forefront, which is immediately drawn the younger sibling into the, I want to get one too. We should all get matching ones.
Matching ones?
She wants all 3 of us to have the same one.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Maya's, well, we did say 4, and the girls immediately said, there's no way mom gets a Stuart motto on her body.
Oh, the 3 of you. So not me.
Well, you're welcome to.
You.
But would you get the Stewart family motto on you? Exactly.
No. I thought my one at the Arctic monkey thing. That's why I'm like, wait, kid.
No. She wants to get the Stewart family credo.
Oh, the one that she showed me was the Arctic monkey.
Well, that's because we were making making a joke that we had gotten it already, and she had literally drawn that on herself on the flight over. Right. She wants to get the family credo of courage grows stronger at the wound. She loves that. And I too think it's kind of cool. And now as a Lord.
Oh, I like that. That's like everything that I teach about resilience.
So should we book a foursome here in a few years?
I don't want like a Stuart crust though.
No, it's just going to be, okay. Welcome to Parenting Podcast for Tattoos. No, it's.
Okay, so
Anyway, we can work the logistics out about the family tattoo later. But it really raised an interesting point because you brought up then the fact that Willow is already, I want a truck, right?
Are you offended that I don't want a Stuart emblem on my body? Like, do you take offense to that? Just
hang on. So Dr. Caroline Bazanko is asking me if I'm offended that she won't get a Stuart tattoo. Caroline Bazanko, my wife, is concerned that I won't get.
Are you offended I didn't take your last name when we got married? Are we married?
Who knows? All right. Screw the question.
No, we will come back to it, but
no, I don't think I'm offended. No, I don't think I'm offended at all. At the beginning, when you first said there's no way I'm taking your name, I wouldn't say you broke the news gently. You kind of made a weird face and said, "Ew, no, there's no way."
Did I?
No, yeah, you were adamant you weren't getting it. And at the time, I'm like, well, that kind of blows. Like, would have been nice. But over the years, I don't care.
Do you know how much paperwork is involved in changing your name?
Yeah, and heaven forbid that you have to put effort into showing your love for me.
And then if we ever split, you know how much work it is? That's the one thing that I remember.
My God,
actually, I think it was maybe Sheila who told me how much work. Somebody told me it's so much work. So I'm like, I don't need extra work in my life.
I think when I was younger, I would have been like, oh. But I've also come to grips with the fact that you and I are extremely unconventional when it comes to our relationship. Mm-hmm. Like, show me your wedding ring and I'll show you mine.
Do I have one?
Fun fact, listeners, neither of us are wearing wedding rings. Haven't in years. I am 97% sure that mine's been stolen. I have no idea where it is. Mm-hmm. So over time, no, like that's just kind of who we are, right? You and I are you and I, right? And while we're a partnership and you're my wife and like all of the typical marital things are in place, I've kind of grown maybe proud. Like, you've built a really good name for yourself, right? I don't need you to have my name for you and me to be you and me, right? I think I would have loved it. Like, if you had taken my, absolutely, I would have loved it. This actually brings up another question that we could talk about, because there is a name question on the table. But no, like I'm not offended at all. Like I said at the beginning, I think my idea around what marriage entailed, kind of, I'm like, oh, okay, I guess we're not doing that. But I don't really care. And I would never look at you now as Dr. Caroline Stewart. Like, that would just be like, ugh. Yeah. Like, it just wouldn't make sense.
And I wouldn't have found lost long relatives, because if you're a Bazanko, you are 100% related to me. And I have had people who saw me on the news from across Canada, and they reached out like, hey, any chance we're related? And yes, we are. Your grandpa is my grandpa's brother.
Andrew Stewart is like John Smith, right? It's the Scottish John Smith. Yeah. But I mean, no, I'm not offended. I think we do enough things together that's not what I would never point to that as why you and I work, right? Like, now, should you ever need to disappear and you've decided that the people in your life outside of us are no longer important and you need to hide behind my name, you're welcome to join the fold. But no, I don't care.
Alrighty. Good to know. Just wanted to, I didn't know if that was a thing.
No, I don't care. I wouldn't.
Maybe that was a conversation to have 25 years ago.
Yeah, you're a bit late to the party on asking what my feelings were on it. But I mean, you asked me a question, or you brought up something the other day about that.
About the one?
Yeah.
Well, we should go back to your question.
All right.
Unless you want to, but
no. It's just an interesting question from there. But anyways, so going back to the original question, to recap, we are Lord and Lady. No, I'm not offended that she didn't take my name. Yes, Danon has two N's in the middle of it, not one. I was right. She was wrong. And the question on the table is, how as parents do you manage the influence the older sibling has, good or bad, on the younger sibling? Because we are very much starting to see those effects. I wouldn't say any particularly bad, but there's definitely, I mean, it's anything. Cell phone's a huge one, right? That'd probably be the most prominent. Why can't I? Yeah. But I mean, for even little ones, it was always, why does she get to stay up late, right? Why does she get that? Why does she get to have an extra show? Why does she? So I guess that's maybe the broader question for parents is, how do you manage the expectations of the younger, with the reality that the older is able to do more, have more, right? And the little one isn't quite there yet.
And I think we might have actually talked about this not too long ago, but one of the things that I've done with families that I know I've talked about on the podcast, but we can rehash it. Well, there's a couple of things. One is the fairness, equality and fairness, right? And I think that we can come back to that one. But the one thing I've talked about before is having a chart, right? With like, when do you think, and things will always be evolving. You can never make a chart when they're two and know that everything's going to be in that chart. And you got to see what their personality is and things like that. So a chart of, when you're 16, we can have the conversation around getting a tattoo or getting a car, right? When you're 12, maybe we can have the conversation. Every family is going to be different with what they're comfortable with around having those conversations. But that's where I put it is we'll have the conversation at that age. It's not when you're 16, you can get a tattoo.
Right.
Right. And so I think we might have mentioned this because the other thing is Maya is a different child than Willow.
Mm-hmm.
They're different children. And so what I feel comfortable with Maya, I have a very different comfort level with Willow.
Good and bad, right? Like
Yeah,
there are certain things that Willow,
yeah, good and bad. So like Willow, I have no problem leading the way in Southeast Asia. Just go at it. You take the lead.
Yeah.
You're a survivor. Maya, my older one, I wouldn't be as comfortable with that, but I would be comfortable with leaving Maya home for the weekend by herself at 16.
Yeah.
Right. So if we're going to look at age equivalents, not now would I leave Willow, but when Willow's 16, I probably wouldn't be as comfortable leaving her at home because she's going to get into all sorts of party mode, destruction, party police.
Yeah,
no, I think she's a good kid. Like, I don't think it'll be that. But that's what I'm just saying.
Yeah,
like,
there's definitely a bit more of a looser parameters for operating with her.
Yeah. I'm totally against social media, but Maya, like, I'm open. If she came, and I've asked her, because I've talked to her friends about Snapchat, for example, and I've asked her, and she's like, no, like, I do not want anything like that at all, because I see how terrible it is. But if she did come to me, I'd actually maybe be open to it because I know she's responsible and she's spending her time reading and she's volunteering and she's active.
See, I wouldn't.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd be open to have the conversation.
Sure.
Whereas Willow at 16, there's no way I'm going to even have the conversation. We got to make sure that the kids don't listen to this episode. But, like I just, yeah. So it's based on, it's not just age. It's when we'll have the conversation, but.
Now, and to say that what you just said, your assumption about the 16 age for social media, let's say, isn't necessarily set in stone, right? Mm-hmm. Depending on the path and choices and all that stuff, there's a possibility that at 16, that is a conversation we'd have, mm-hmm. right? But again, it comes down to setting the benchmark, the milestone of having the conversation, not making a decision. Is that kind of the distinction?
Yeah. Like we will have that conversation. So when Willow's 12, I want to get Snapchat, for example, we can go to the chart. Oh, look, 16 is when we can have the conversation. And then she can talk all she wants. I'm just going to point to the chart. I don't even need to say anything. And then that's when futility sets in, where she's like, because she just knows it doesn't matter what she says. We don't have to get into a back and forth because I've written it down. We'll open the conversation at 16. So, she's got 4 years to wait. She'll bring it up. I know she will.
Oh, yeah. She likes to dip her toe in there.
But, like that's when that is. Now, I think there's a good balance. I'm always talking about we want to win the war. Before I go into that, though, was there something you wanted to say?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So we got to choose our battles. And as they get into teenage years, lots of wonky things go on in their brain, right? So their dopamine, which is their motivation, getting started on things, initiation, serotonin, which is their feel-good hormones, all of those drop. And the brain doesn't base decisions on consequences. It's totally seeking stimulation. That's why they start liking horror flicks. Mm-hmm. And, it wants to be stimulated. It's based on rewards, which unfortunately social media provides with all the likes and everything stimulating just about screens. But one of the things is novelty and experimentation. So I would be way more open to her, either of them, doing tattoos, body piercing, shaving their head, dyeing their hair, whatever, experimenting that way, because there's way other worse things that they could be experimenting in. So, we can't, that's where we have to have some leeway and autonomy. And, I think that that's really important versus us just saying, no. I'm willing this all came up with Maya having a tattoo. My only fear was that it was just the Arctic monkey.
Yeah, no, it should have been much clearer.
The
it wasn't that one.
right? And so, because that's what you guys showed me when you were in Montreal. And so, like that might be something that and I'm sure she'll always love Arctic monkey, but
as an art fan, when it comes to it's a very subtle, cool tattoo. If she were to get it, I'm not saying she is.
And I do love it. But I think there's also a piece of delayed gratification that I still have yet to learn. But I think that there's important skills. And you talked about that. You're like, you know what? I had my tattoo design and I sat on it for years. I mean, I still have the Curious George one and the dream symbol that you had, and I still love it. I never did get it. Like I wanted it the minute you drew it for me. But I waited and waited, and I ultimately got a completely different tattoo that has even more meaning. But I still love that one, and one day I still might. But I've had decades. Not that she has to wait for decades, but
no. And I just told her, it was probably 3 years before I committed and went and actually got it, right? And the conversation we had was around checking in, because the person she is today might not find that quote as cool in 2 years, right? And might not be as enamored with it. And so, especially as a teenager, right? It's cool, it's cool, it's cool, it's not cool, and it's on you for the rest of your life. That's why so many people have Tasmanian devils and tribal band tattoos on their arms. Sorry, Mac. And like those sort of things that in the moment seem timeless, and it's amazing how quickly they deteriorate, right, from your importance.
And there's the opportunity to, like I said, just draw it on yourself, and you might add to it and take away, and it'll just kind of morph. And, like, I think that those are things too that she could look at. So
with stuff like that, I mean, one of the things that we brought up was the vehicle. That's interesting to me because I'm going to have the same conversation with Willow that I had with Maya when she wanted to buy my truck, which was great. Let's talk about the cost of operating that truck, right? So I'm not as worried about her following in the footsteps and already having the truck picked out. And she loves our neighbor's truck and she wants to buy that one. And if I ever get rid of my truck, I have to sell it to her. And so when it's closer, like when she's probably 14 is when I'll sit down and have the conversation with her and just say, here's the math, right? Here's a reason that your sister has a 4-cylinder. And so that example, I'm not too worried about. Like she seems to be taking the whole, I'm going to get a truck as she'll be cooler than her sister when she gets it, right?
And here's the difference though between the two girls is Maya, yes, has ADHD. However, she's very money frugal. She's very good at saving her money and spending our money, and she just doesn't want to spend it. So for her, the cost, seeing that spreadsheet with how much it costs to run a truck really sinks in because she's got good money sense and she's got good money saving sense. Willow, the minute she's got $5, it's like, hey, everybody, what can I buy y'all? I'm like, you might be able to buy yourself one thing, but she just, it's burning a hole in her pocket.
Yeah.
And she is the kid who's way more about not thinking of consequences. So I actually don't think, like, I think if you put that spreadsheet, it'll be like, yeah. I just want the truck. She's just, her brain will be so sold on the excitement of the truck, not thinking of the consequences. And I think her ADHD brain will definitely be more in line with that.
Interesting.
Because that's where I am. You've seen me.
Oh, yeah.
Buy a house.
Yeah.
And then we walk into a house within 5 minutes. I'm like, yes, we'll get this house.
Yeah. To the realtor. Oh, I love it. We'll take it. What?
Yeah.
You don't say that to the realtor?
She's got my brain.
That's really interesting because you're right. It may, you're right. It probably won't work. So now I have to figure out a different approach to that because the truck is dumb.
Yeah, no, it is. And I mean, you could still do that, but maybe it's looking at what do you have in your account? What do you need to do? I think there'll be some more metacognitive sort of questioning around it. Like Maya just knew right away, wow, that's a lot of money. Willow will be like, yeah, I'll make it work. And so, okay, I think it's a great executive functioning building skill, and this is often what I tell parents when we're building executive functions, pick a goal that they're into that we can start working on. Normally parents are like, how do we build these skills to start their chores that they don't want to do or the homework that I'm like, well, we're not really going to be building skills. It's just going to be another thing that you have to remind them about.
Yeah.
But if it's a goal that she wants, it's like, okay, how much money do you have? It's usually in the negative. How much money do you have? How much do you need to get there? And to maintain, what's your first step? Right. So we're just asking her those open-ended questions. So,
all right.
Yeah, I think there's just more teaching to go into that.
So, summarize.
And then should I go into the fairness equality thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, summary of this in terms of the initial approach that we've kind of talked about is setting up the expectation of the appropriate milestones to have the conversation, and then tailoring the conversation when it comes to it, to the individual, to the kid.
They each need their own chart. And think of everything. Like the big tickets are probably sleepovers, right? Like how old? I mean, we were easygoing. I think they're having sleepovers at 4 or 5 years old, but you got to start thinking, what are you comfortable with? Not because we had a previous episode on peer pressure, right? Yep. And kids are going to be, I want to, everybody else is, right? So phones, access to screens, having their own phone, social media, dating, tattoos, piercings, all of those kinds of things.
All right. So that was that was the summarization. That was complete. Okay. So fairness.
Yeah. And then just teaching the skills. So the fairness, I mean, that's a tricky one, right? Like why, well, even she draws better than me, or why does she get to stay up later? Or, all of these kinds of things, or get more treats, or,
Yeah. And I know where she's coming from, because as the younger sibling, i.e. the great kid versus the prototype. That's what she called. How did she word it the other day? Yeah, she called Maya the prototype. And it really made me laugh. Totally off topic. Made me really laugh. I'm like, what did you call your sister? She's the prototype. She's the thing that you work out all the kinks and then the next one's perfect. And I'm like, oh my God, kid. But anyways, so often she blasts, so that's really funny. But as the younger sibling myself, there's this weird desire, like there's a huge love-hate with your older sibling. Huge. You hate the fact that you're never seen as being as good as them, or as talented as them, or all of these things that you make up in your head. But then at the same time, you want to be more like them, and you want to spend time with them, and you want all the things that they can do and not do, or that you can't do. And it's a constant struggle, right? Like it took me years to finally just stop comparing myself to Chris, right? But I mean, like my love of music, we had music in the house a lot, right? So that it's there. But my love of finding new music, I know, is tied to me trying to impress my brother. It was me trying to find music he hadn't heard of yet, that if I played it for him, he'd go, that's really cool. So there's this constant catch up. And I don't know if you care. I'm sure you've talked about this before, or you've heard about this before. But as the younger sibling, that fairness and equalness it occupies like 94% of your brain time when you're a kid. It's insane.
Yeah. So if you've got younger kids, I would start documenting now at what age your first one was doing stuff, just so you could be like, okay, so we actually have this, because we're usually trying to retroactively, so maybe just having that documented, because they lose sight of that.
Totally.
But it's interesting. Like, I know that there was a time it was really hard when Maya was always going out for sleepovers and Willow was stuck at home. But now it's the other way. Like Willow's got 3 sleepovers this weekend, and Maya's, well, she's out with friends. But then there's times where I'm tucking Willow into bed and Maya's just heading out to go see friends too, right? So I think Willow does know. It's easier now that Maya's got a car. I think she really does recognize that age difference, and Maya can take herself out now and go do those things. So I do see that. But I do, like going back, I do wish that I had recorded when Maya did what. But again, everyone's going to be a little bit different too, because I think conversely, older ones feel like they get the short end of the stick because they had to wait until they were 14 before they ever saw a TV. And yet their 2-year-old sibling gets one, or you know what I mean? Like they just seem to feel like they have way more responsibility and, you know, those kinds of things. I think it's going back to the family meeting. We've done lots of episodes on that, is like sitting down as a family and saying, look, especially if you're butting heads all the time, right? That things aren't fair. Being able to sit down and have that conversation and what would make things a little bit better from everybody, like take everybody's perspective, you know, because it's great. I can give you strategies and maybe I still will give a couple of things, but you really, every family is different, and creating a plan collaboratively together is so important. But I do think that sharing stories too, like it might not be fair that Willow and I get to wear glasses, and well, I would say Willow probably doesn't think it's fair that she does have to wear glasses and you and Maya don't, you know, but those things are a little bit out of our control, and it might not be equal because we have and you have not, but it's fair because it's giving us equal opportunity to be able to see the same distance with the same acuity, right? Yeah. And so that's the piece, is what is it that you need? Just like being picked up to see the fireworks over heads of other people. Maya wouldn't need to be picked up because she's so tall. She's taller than I am, but Willow might, right? And so I think it's looking at that sort of piece when it comes to that. I think the example I've used in the past, like you might get a bigger piece of cake because you've got a bigger tummy than us, right? And so it's looking at equal. And I know we talk about equal isn't fair, but it's actually through experience and through real life examples that kids will actually learn that. It's not just us sitting down and talking about it because they'll just say, yeah. But maybe it's doing physical measurements or, you know, like, you know, throwing the basketball. Well, look, your sister is 5'8". You are 5 foot, right? So look at how much further she's got. She's got an extra 8 inches that she can reach. So what do you need? Maybe we give you a stool to reach, or just know that your ball might be thrown 8 inches shorter. So are there experiential sorts of things like that, physical, concrete examples that you can sort of break things down? Sometimes it is an age timeline. You just can't drive, and you just can't drive your own car until you're 16. Right. I mean, there's a law. Hard rule, that's a law around that, right? But Willow remembers that we started letting Maya drive down dirt roads and abandoned dirt roads and stuff when she was 11. And so Willow's like, this is the summer. I'm going to start driving everywhere, right? And so I guess Maya was 12.
Well, and we're about to add to that too, because this is the summer Maya could drive the boat by herself.
That's true, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Willow can only do partial running of it with one of us there supervising.
Yeah. So
it's going to be another difference.
Yeah.
Right? Now, would I let the kid take the boat up by herself? No, not a chance. Not even a little bit. So in terms of, just come back to the idea of chronicling or articling what the kids did. I was just thinking, what if the second one really does suck and they do everything later and worse?
Well, and that's just it. Like, that's why it's hard to compare, right? Like, I think it's more that chronicling is more for us than anything. Because just back to the earlier point, you know, like I might be comfortable with leaving Maya home alone for the weekend, but not Willow per se. That was just an example. And who knows, maybe when Willow's 16, I will be. I'm just kind of projecting. So everybody is different, but maybe it is your own chart, right? Like riding a bike. Willow was riding a bike 2-wheeler with wheels, like a 2-wheeler with pedals that she could do by the time she was 2 years old. Maya was like 4, right? And so I think that could be helpful too, is like, look, you were actually advanced comparatively, right? In terms of age. And so we are on our own sort of timeline.
When did Maya start walking?
Oh man, that was young. Well, we had the Christmas photos, so of her first year. Right. So she would have been 1 in February. And
so it was around 9 or 10 months.
Yeah. So she was already standing by 9 months and taking her first steps at 10 months. She was fully capable of walking by 12
Yeah, because
months.
Willow took a different path because she used to scoot all over the place.
Yeah.
Right. But she walked a week after her first birthday.
Yeah.
Right. So it's interesting because you're right. When you compare the two, Willow just took it like they were pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
But Willow just chose to roll everywhere for 2 or 3 months, right? And she was chilled with it. She thought that was hilarious.
It's funny because a pattern, and I have no research to support this, but just a pattern I see is physically, the younger kids usually advance because they watch their older siblings swimming and biking and they want to be doing that. But I see more delays in speech because the older sibling is always talking for the younger one.
Which is hilarious because with Chris and I, it was the opposite.
Well, and same thing with Willow and Maya.
Well, and that's what I was going to say is, and Maya and Willow followed the same path. Yeah. Maya was quiet and Willow was outspoken, right? But I mean, there were stories, and you've heard this a million times, about Chris taking me door to door when he'd have to go raise money as a scout because he'd be too shy to talk. So he would bring me, his 4-year-old brother, and I would just ramble off like a traveling snake oil salesman, all the benefits of giving us whatever we wanted, and off we'd go to the next house.
Maya was like that with trick-or-treating. We'd bring Willow to go trick-or-treating.
Yeah, Pickle would have to be the one that'd say hello and trick-or-treat. Yeah, it is interesting how they become codependent that way, right? And whether they did intend to or not. And they still, to this day, you can see it. Like when Maya's feeling like she wants something but doesn't want to venture out on her own, she'll bribe Willow to come with her to do it, right? And Willow knows that if she holds out, she's going to get a ton of stuff to just do it. And even though it's something she wants to do anyways, it's really funny to watch.
Yeah.
Okay, so anything else on either of those components in terms of how to deal with it?
No, and then the next part is, I mean, we talk too much. I'm always saying that we talk too much. We got to cut out 98%. That's why I like charts. If you write it down, you can just point to it. You don't even need to say anything, but don't keep getting into the conversations of why it's fair and why it's equal and blah, 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 blah. Like have the conversation once and then that's it. Just ignore it. Just say, what do you like? You can ask them, what do you think about this? But I'm not having this conversation again because we've already had it. So write it down. Or maybe it's let's talk again in a couple of weeks, or let's talk again in a year, and then just get out of it because we really do turn into the wah, 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 Charlie Brown, right? Yeah. Where it's just they stop listening and it gets to the point of why do I even bother asking, right? Yeah. And to a point that I know I said in a previous podcast where they're like, strict parents create sneaky kids. And so we got to be careful with that too. And oftentimes it's us lecturing and explaining and explaining. If you've done it once, you don't need to do it again. They already know. Yes, they're going to push boundaries. Of course they are. Why wouldn't? Of course they are. Because what if you give in, right? Yeah. They'd be stupid not to push boundaries. That's their job. But our job is to maintain the boundaries that are important. That's what gives them safety. That's what actually strengthens, our relationship and resilience and all of that kind of stuff. So that would be my only other point is just, you don't have to talk every point out for a gazillion hours to bore them. Like in any interaction, try to keep 5 words or less, maybe 10 words or less in any potential conflict interaction.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, my lady?
No.
That was your opening. Call me
Lord Stewart of Danone yogurt.
Denon. Not of yogurt. I'm not Lord of yogurt. Just like I'm not the Andrew Stewart of the NDP.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Excellent job, everybody. Let's stay safe out there.
Good day.
We didn't do our high five. Killed it.